What's up, Monobrats? It's Visual Gordy, and welcome to part 3 of What If Luffy Had the Sharingan. So the previous part was Alabasta arc, and this part is Skypiea arc. So if you didn't get the pattern till now, I'm just gonna say it. The first part was the East Blue saga. The second part was the Alabasta saga. The third part is the Skypiea saga. The fourth part is the seventh saga. The fifth part is the Marineford saga, and continue on. I'm gonna make different parts, but I don't know. Maybe this part 3 is Skypiea saga. So anyways, so I have written the script till Dressrosa, or I've started Dressrosa. I finished this Fisherman arc. I've started writing the Dressrosa arc, which is kind of hard because there are so many characters in that, but I'll manage it. So yeah, with the information given to you guys, without any further ado, let's get watching. With Princess Vivi safely back to Alabasta and a new crewmate Nico Robin on board, the Straw Hat's next adventure begins when a giant ship suddenly falls from the sky. At this point, the log post starts pointing straight up, and Robin explains that the log post has been captured by an island called the Sky Island. Now, while exploring the sunken ruins of the ship, they come across an old map of a land named Skypiea. Through a skull and some books, they figure out that the ship is the Saint Brice, which left the kingdom of Brice in South Blue 2000. That's not really important. Anyways, when they try to salvage the ship for more information, they come across a group of pirates led by Masira, who claims to have control over the territory, and all the ships that sank here belong to him. Masira and his crew begin to salvage the operation begin the salvage operation and are in process of raiding the ship when they run into the snag. Luffy, Zoro and Sanji, who are underwater searching the wreck, start beating up Masera's crew. Masera goes down to handle things and confronts them when a giant sea turtle comes along and swallows the ship. Through Luffy's door, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji and Masera all escape. However, out of nowhere, the sky turns dark and a humongous shadow appears. Out of fear, the pirates run away quickly as possible. Luckily, Robin manages to take an internal post to the nearby island of Jaya from Nasera's ship to go there and find more information. In the port town of Mocktown, the group of Luffy, Zoro and Nami encounter several odd people, all of whom are members of the Blackbeard Pirates, until they end up at the hotel. There they encounter the Sarquis of the Bellamy Pirate, who insures the group and even gives them some money to buy better clothes. They later end up in the bar where they encounter by a Blackbeard himself, though they do not know who he is. After he leaves, Bellamy himself barges in looking for Luffy, claiming he wants to test him to see if he is worthy of joining his new age of pirates. However, when Nami asks the bartender about the information of Sky Island, Bellamy rejects the notion immediately in the bar the entire bar starts ridiculing the three. Bellamy attacks Luffy and Zoro while the other people in the bar starts throwing things at them, but despite Nami's urging, they refuse to fight back. They are laughed out of the bar and when they encounter Blackbeard, who states that they did the right thing not fighting back and those who are not worth the effort of fighting, and encourages Luffy on his dreams. The three go back to the ship to discover that Robin has managed to find some relevant information. On the other side of the island, there's a man who might know how to reach the Sky Island, Mont Blanc Cricket. On the way there, they encounter Soju, who's Nasera's brother, but they manage to escape. They arrive at the house to find that it is empty, but they found the book, The Story of Mont Blanc Nonia, aka the Landowner. Sanji explains that this is a fairy tale from North Blue. As it turns out, Cricket is a descendant of Norland and is trying to prove whether the Sky Island exists or whether the gold exists or not by diving into the ocean every day to search for evidence, to the point of injuring himself. Chopper treats him and they meet up with Masera and Sojiro again, who help Cricket out on his quest. Cricket explained that if the Sky Island existed, the only way to reach it would be through the Knockup scheme. In order to reach it, Cricket had told the Straw Hats to go to the forest to search for a south bird, a bird that always points south. During this, the Sarnia Islands alliance, which means the alliance between Cricket and the brothers, son Soju and Nasira. The alliance is called the Saruyama Alliance. Okay, so anyways, Saruyama Alliance upgraded the Goimeri in order to withstand the knockup stream. When the crew returned with the southboard in tow, the group saw Cricket beat up, and when inquiring about it, they realized that Bellamy came here and took the gold. Luffy decided to get the gold back. So in Town, Luffy screamed for Bellamy to come out. Luffy demanded that Bellamy take the gold back, but he refused. Bellamy attacked him with his devil powers, but Luffy still does not fight back. Angered, he decides to finish off with his ultimate attack. While Bellamy mocks him for not to follow his team, Luffy, even without his Sharingan, can see Bellamy easily. At this point, Luffy finally becomes fired up by Bellamy's words and takes him down with a single punch. The terrified pirates realize that Luffy's wanted posters were actually real, and they ran away in fear. Luffy then took the gold and went back to Cricket's house, while the remainder of the Bellamy pirates were too afraid to fight back. When Luffy returned and gave Cricket his gold back, he and the crew set off for the knockup stream, led by the Saruyama Alliance and the Bluebird. When they reached the right area, they were confronted by the Blackbeard pirates, who revealed the Straw Hats' new bounty on them, which was of Luffy's bounty, which was 110 million berry, while Zoro was 60 million berry. Before the battle ensued, the Straw Hats were caught up in the Knockup stream and were sent flying to the White Sea, leaving the Blackbeard pirates' raft to be destroyed and to fall in the sea below. Having ridden the Knockup stream, the Straw Hats find themselves in the Sea of Clouds, but before they have a chance to relax, they are quickly attacked by a strange man in a mask who is riding in the clouds. The crew is unable to defend themselves, but they are thankfully saved by an old knight named Gonfall, who rides on a bird with a devil ability named Pierce. He points out to them that the reason they could not fight back against the gorilla was due to thin air, though immediately afterwards the crew says that they are starting to get used to it. The Gunfalls gives them a whistle to summon them in case they get into more trouble, and the crew continues on. They reach the Heaven's Gate, the entrance of the Skypiea, and were told to pay 1 million extros per person as the entrance fee. But the crew has no idea what extros is. In response, the gatekeeper basically tells them that she does not care what they do, but does not warn them that if they pass without paying, they will be marked as criminals, and the crew goes to Skypiea. The ship reaches the shore of Angel Island, the main part of Skypiea, where they meet a girl named Cornice and her father, Pagaya. They let the crew come to their house so they can introduce them to the Skypiea society, but Nami decides to stay in the ocean and try out Papaya's weaver. While Cornice explains the use of dyes, Nami ends up riding to a nearby island with a huge forest. When Sanji points out that Nami is gone, Cornice and Pagaya explain that the nearby island is known as the Upper Yard. Upper Yard is the whole forbidden sacred ground where Enel and his priests reside, but no one must set foot on it. This immediately sparks Luffy's interest as he commands that they head out to rescue Nami, but he makes it obvious that he simply wants to go to the Upper Yard to explore and have an adventure. At Upper Yard, Nami witnesses Enel's priest chasing a man who is searching for the treasure of the island. However, before the pirates can finish them, priest can finish them up, Enel decides to act on his own, and in show of power, a massive beam of energy flies from the sky and disintegrates the treasure hunter. The Gedatsu, one of the priests, explained to others that their time limit was up, and the group of criminals just appeared, a group of some. From this, Nami realizes that they were talking about them, the Straw Hats, and rushes back to Angel Island. Meanwhile, on the island's beach, the crew encounters Skypier's low level of law enforcement named the White Barrets. They explain that the Straw Hat Pirates are criminal and they are punished, and that the punishment for literally illegally entering sometimes is to pay 10 times the amount of the entrance fee. Here it is explained that the 10,000 extras is per belly, making the fee 1 million berry. The crew decides to wait for Nami to come back, but even doing minor things like snoring ends up raising the crime level. Nami eventually returns, but when she finds out that the fee, she rams the waiver into McKinley, the boss of the whole law enforcement lowest level. She slams into McKinley while yelling that the price is too high. In response, the White Bears launch an attack, but only defeated by Luffy. This ends up raising them to class 2 criminals that are only dealt by the police. The crew starts packing up to leave with Nami, Chopper, Robin, and Zoro at the ship, while Luffy, Sanji, Usopp get the food and supplies from Papaya's home. Suddenly, the ship is grabbed by the Super Express Sheet Shrimp. A shrimp, basically, what's this called? Cactopus? No. A shrimp that carries them to the Papaya. Luffy, Sanji and Usopp led by Konos go to the lovely street in order to get a boat to rescue them. Konos lets them her ship, but before they leave, Luffy knows that she is shaking the entire time she is leaving them. Konos then reveals that she is the one who called the ship, take the ship, and it is intentionally leading them to the Upper Yard, where it is the God Annals, where they would lead criminals to that island, and not following it will deserve to death. Upon hearing Coney say this, all of the townspeople run away. True to the world, Enel strikes and fires a massive beam of energy at her from the sky, but she said by the night gone for. He explains that since she and both her fathers will be considered criminals, he take them back to his house, which is out of the Enel's name. Despite the show of Enel's power, the three pirates continued to the Upper Yard unhindered. Meanwhile, Nami, Zoro, Robin, and Chopper find themselves and the ship on top of the large sacrificial altar surrounded by shark-infested clouds. Using a vine, however, the crew swings over the island except Chopper, who stays to guard the ship. Luffy's group enters Upper Yard, and they travel towards the Milky Road, a cloud river, avoiding several traps. Eventually, they reach the hard structure with the river branching out into 4 parts going through each finger, each labeled with a different ordeal. Ordeal of swamp, ordeal of iron, ordeal of strings, and ordeal of what. Luffy chooses the ordeal of balls, thinking that it sounds fun, and after a dock, they find themselves in an area of forest with several cloud balls floating each around. Each of the surprise balls contain a different object. Some contain snakes, other contains explosives, other contains harmless slugs, etc. At this point, the priest Satori appears and attacks them, but they find that she's somehow able to read their minds using an ability called Mantra. Luffy activates this, starting to predict the movements of Satori, and he can do that without much issue. While fighting Satori with Sanji and Usopp, Luffy remembers what Robin told him about the Sharingan's main ability, which is to predict and copy moves. Luffy tries this, but it doesn't work out first, but then Luffy understands that the thing called Mantra is basically sensory type move. So Luffy asks Satori while fighting about the Mantra, and Satori, when asked about the question about Mantra, thinks that these people won't learn it, so he tells them about the mechanism. Now Sanji and Usopp are first confused, but then shocked when they see Satori telling the mechanism of the mantra to Luffy. The battle continues with Luffy showing signs of that he's learning. When Satori sees this, he quickly realizes that Luffy is learning mantra, so he decides to stop him. But it's too late, and when Satori goes to punch him, Luffy has to turn back to him. Luffy dodges without even seeing backward. This shocks Satori, and Sanji takes advantage of this and uses his new move, Konkase. After a long and difficult battle, they manage to get past Mantra by turning his own attacks against him. Meanwhile, the priest Shura arrives at the sacrificial altar to find that Chopper is the only one left to kill. In response, Chopper uses Whistle to call Downfall. Shura heavily damages the ship with his fire-based attack, but before he can finish Chopper off, Gunfall attacks. They seem to be evenly matched, but until Shura, Shura, Shura. They seem to be evenly matched until Shura starts the ordeal of string, which activates several dials that shoot out nearly invisible strings to tangle up the foe. Gunfall, Pierce, and Chopper end up falling into the clouds. After looking around for a little bit, Zoro's group reaches a startling conclusion. Appayard is the part of Jaya. Specifically, it is the location of the Gold City mentioned in Lion Nolan's tale. In other words, the Gold City did not sink into the water. It was launched into the sky by the knock-off scream. At the same time, Chopper wakes up to the find that he, along with Gunfall and Premier, pair are saved in the sacrificial altar. As it turns out, they were saved by the flock of the giant southbirds. Nami, Zoro, and Robin return to the altar. At the same time, Luffy's group finally arrives. It is getting down, so the crew decides to camp out in the forest. If they were found, they would have more room to fight and they would not be able to destroy the Going Merry more. The Straw Hats pull all of the information together and Nami puts the map of Jaya and Skypiea together to form the image of Skull. Nolan's logbook stated the city city of gold was in the skull's right eye, which they realize is referring to Jaya's geography. Thus, they decide to steal the gold city before they go back to the Blue Sea. In order to celebrate, Luffy starts a huge bonfire, much to Nami's annoyance, since they will get the piece attention. Along with the pack of wolves, the Straw Hat dance around the fire as an eve of the Golden Festival. At this point, Gunfall regains consciousness. After the party ends, Nami forms a plan. While Luffy, Zoro, Chopper and Robin go to the city, Nami, Usopp and Sanji will go to the Going Merry and Gunfall will take Going Merry and Gunfall out of the upper yard. Luffy's group set out to the Gold City only to encounter a gigantic python. Due to its attack, the group gets separated with only Robin on the right path. On the Going Merry, Gunfall explains how the dials can be used as weapons, demonstrating with its impact die which can absorb and reflect impact attacks. Meanwhile, the Shandias come across Shura and they are immediately caught in the ordeal of string. However, Viper managed to avoid it and defeated Shura using a reject die, a thought to be extinct version of the impact die that multiplies the attack power but which also damages the user. As the warriors split up and continue on, Enel releases his 50 divine soldiers led by Yama to fight them. At this point, Enel predicts that within a few hours there will only be 5 participants in the survival game, including himself left. Zoro ends up facing one of the Shandia warriors, Braham, but defeats him using his 36-pound cannon. At the same time, Luffy encounters Viper once again, though they seem to be evenly matched. But Luffy is eaten by the Great Python, interrupting the battle. Chopper ends up encountering Priest Getatsu, who, after being defeated by the reindeer, gets caught by his own ordeal of Stomp and falls to the Blue Sea. Robin encounters Yama and at some ancient ruins and defeats him. On the Going Merry, Enel appears to tell Gunfall that he has no use of the island anymore and is about to leave. When Sanji and Usopp attack him, he uses his double fruit abilities to electrocute them, rendering them both unconscious. Immediately afterwards, the Satori brothers, Hotori and Katori, arrive to get revenge, but were defeated by Nami and Gunfall. During all of these events, the minor Shandaria warriors and the divine warriors battle fiercely. Meanwhile, Aisa, the Shandia girl who can use mantra, uses the dial boat to go to the upper yard, but the ship shuts down and she is picked up by Cornus and Papaya. After Hattori and Kotori is defeated, Gunfall leaves the ship with Pierce in order to find out what Enel is meant, leaving Nami with his impact die. Immediately afterwards, Cornus and Pagaya use the Milky Dial to form a shortcut to the exit and meet Yami on the ship, giving Yami a new waiver. While they take care of Usopp and Sanji, Zoro unintentionally ends up with a southboard following him everywhere, but it thinks Zoro has foot. The Snake Summit, Luffy sees tons of golds and ruin but cannot see his ways find out under the assumption that he's in a cave. Reading all of this, Robin reaches the city of gold, which has been separated into different layers of cloud, to find that there is no gold. but she instead finds out that a poneglyph in the city, especially on the Golden Belt. However, the bell is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Chopper climbs a giant beanstalk he finds in search for the Gold City, only to end up in the domain of Priest who badly wounds him. On the going merry, Isa tries to escape, but when Nami chases after her, the Python attack appears and attacks them. Because Luffy is hitting the lining of his stomach out of frustration, using his wayward escape, Nami and Isa end up even deep into the jungle. At the same time, the South Blue, while trying to steal Zoro's backpack, carries Zoro through the air and drops him when the snake tries to eat him. Viper reaches Ohm's area when Gunfall appears to explain that he has been to the God's Shrine and is completely destroyed with Enel nowhere to stay, meaning that there's no point going there. Zoro ends up landing there, and Ohm decides that no one of them will escape his ordeal of iron. As they all fight, Nami and Isla, along with a couple of soldiers, end up in the area too. Viper attacks them, telling Isa to get out of the way, but Gunfall and Pierce save them, only to end up eaten by the python. As Zoro fights, eventually defeating Ohm with his new move, he can make air splashes, The group in the Python ends up meeting Luffy in the ruins of the Golden City Shandora. Robin encounters Ellen, who explains that he took all the gold from the buildings, but expresses interest when Robbie mentions the Golden Bell. On the edge of the island where the Going Merry is, one of the soldiers warns them that Enel is planning to destroy the Sky Islands, and Enel attacks them, along with Pagaya with his lightning attack, leaving Konis to go warn everyone on Angel Island. Enel then destroys the cloud above him and Robin, sending Zoro, Viper, and the snake falling to where he is. Gunfall and Nami manage to escape the snake, accidentally leaving Luffy, Isa, and Pierre, and Enel executes the python. He announces that within 3 minutes until the time is up. There are 6 survivors left. One of them has to go. When he asks the remaining survivors who it should be, they all decide Enel. Gunfall attacks Enel, but Enel easily defeats Gunfall, thus making God's prediction too. The 5 survivors being Enel, Viper, Zoro, Robin, and Nami. And Robin says that he simply cannot destroy the land just like that, since he wants the Golden Bell. Enel replies that he already knows where it is and attacks her, since he is manipulative woman. Zoro fights back, but then Viper uses Sea Stone to cut off Enel's Dread Fruit and uses the projectile to kill him. However, when the Sea Stone is off him, Enel uses his ability to restart his art and come back to life. Enel defeats all the fighters, leaving only Nami with no to escape. Nami says that she'll go with him when she follows him, taking along her waiver so she can escape at the right time. However, this is supposed to be useless, as Enel reveals his means of escape, the Arc Maximum, a flying ship using his power as a source of energy, using the gold from the city as a conductor. Meanwhile, Luffy's group manages to escape from the python and come across Enel's victim. After a barely conscious Robin explains the situation, Isa explains that she can use a mantra to lead Luffy to him. At this moment, Luffy also remembers that he also has mantra, albeit now with a little much experience in it. At the Angel Beach, Connor says to convince everyone to leave the island, but she is labeled a heretic. To prove her point, she loudly ends that she does not consider Enel as a god, and everyone runs away to escape God's judgment. However, when nothing happens to her, they realize that she is right after all. Enel will be destroying the entire island soon, so there's no point in specifically killing one person. They panic and run away, but when the White Berets manage to bring everyone out of the evacuation, so Conan hurries back to Apaya to show the Straw Hats the way out of Skypiea. Luffy finally reaches Enel, who he fights with. He is completely stunned, however, to find that none of his attacks have any effect on Luffy because he is the rubber man. Now, not only that, but Luffy can bypass his Logi ability and physically hurt him because of the rubber thing. After calming down, Enel switches to a different mode of attack by hitting up his staff, teleporting around, and using his mantra to predict his move. At this point, Luffy, who activates his Sharing along with his newly learned mantra ability, tries to predict Enel, which does not work very well at first, But Luffy is able to see Enel with his lightning speed with his Trutomo Sharingan blazing as well as his evolving mantra, which is currently evolving due to him fighting Enel. Enel seeing this realizes that the Sharingan can follow movement, so he decides to take the full power and uses his full speed, which is as fast as lightning. Luffy quickly realizes that Enel was playing with him before, so Luffy gives it his all. Luffy gets smacked around like a ragdoll for a couple of times until he's able to dodge a punch from Enel. This shocks both Enel and Nami, but when Enel sees Luffy's eye, he can see 3 Tomo instead of 2. Enel, thinking nothing about it, continues attacking Luffy, who tries to dodge but is unsuccessful a couple of times. But then Luffy realizes that his vision as well as his mantra has developed to the next stage, and he can predict Enel's attack easily. He smiles at this and continues dodging with attacks here and there. Nami sees this, realizes that Luffy's Sharingan has evolved yet again, just like during the fight during all along. As the battle rages on, Luffy realizes that he can see Enel without his advanced mantra, causing him to get overconfident, thinking he can defeat Enel now. As the arc maximum launches into the air, Luffy manages to get the upper hand until Enel attaches a large ball of gold to the rubber man's arm and knocks him off the ship out of the upper yard. During this fight, Enel also used the arc maximum to start a process called Death Pia to form massive thunderclouds. By doing this, he can amplify his power enough to destroy the islands. As Nami prepares to fight against Enel using her Kamel attack thunderballs to deflect his weaker attacks, Sanji and Usopp finally wake up. When Sanji declares he will go to rescue Yami, he forces Usopp to grapple them onto the ship. On the deck, Usopp distracts Enel when Nami prepares the waiver to jump off, aiming for the patch of island clouds around the beanstalk, getting a hit in the process. But as Enel prepares to kill them both, Sanji gets in the way of the attack, allowing them to escape. Immediately, the ship starts to blow up, revealing that Sanji was wrecking the machines, allowing Arc Maximum to fly. As Enel leaves to fix the problem, Usopp, who actually used one of his devices to stick into the side of the ship, climbs back up and jumps out with Sanji. Enel manages to keep the ship flying with his emergency dials and begins to show the land with thunderbolts. Back in the ruins of Shandora, Luffy manages to recover and along with Isa and Pierre run towards the beanstalk. After leaving the two with Robin, who had carried everyone back to the surface, Luffy runs up to the beanstalk where the golden ball is still attached to his arm. At this point, Viper, Zoro and Gunfall all wake up, and Nami tells everyone to go to the Going Merry, and uses a waiver try to reach Luffy and get him to lead to. Luffy continues up the beanstalk and eventually reaches Nami. Nami tries to convince him to leave, but he replies that he's gonna ring the bell so Mont Blanc Cricket and everyone will know that the city of gold is in the sky. As Enel reaches the top, he unleashes his ultimate technique, Raigo. Using this, he destroys all of Angel Island, forming a gigantic hole in the clouds. When he reaches the golden bell, he creates another Raigo, much larger than the first, meant to destroy all of Skypiea. Nami realizes that everyone is still near the beanstalk, so she sends down instruction to cut down the plant so that it will fall towards Enel. Despite Zoro's efforts, it remains standing so. But upon hearing why Luffy wants to ring the bell, Viper uses his reject dial to feel the beanstalk. Using the wave's full power, Luffy and Nami blast up the falling plant and sent flying towards Enel. However, Luffy pushes Nami to the cloud and makes a detour into the Raigo. As all of Skypiea and Shandora pray for the real god Anak, Luffy swings his golf ball around to draw electricity from the Raigo into him and eventually breaks it apart. Despite Enel unleashing his full power, Luffy sends him crashing to the bell, sending a ring that could be heard anywhere. On the sky island of Jaya below, Cricket and Saruyama alliance hear the sound. Cricket breaks down crying because Cricket breaks down, crying because the city really existed and because he was glad that Rufy was alright. Then he thinks of other dream to pursue. However, for the people of Skypiea, this ring means something else. The war between the Skypians and the Shandaria over. As Enel and his ark, along with the bell, fall to the sky clouds below and the sky clears, everyone gathers at the upper yard. Shandara warriors begin to recover. Papa is revealed to be alive, and the ones who were forced to build the Ark Maximum were reunited with their families. At night, Viper is conscious to find that he has been taken care of. Cone is Gunfall and his chief. Viper tries to convince his chief that they have to fight the Sky People to take control of Upper Yard, but he explains the war is the furthering things from everything's mind. Viper runs outside to see everyone celebrating. Meanwhile, Enes has recovered and is back on his ark. However, he decides to let them keep their land and heads towards the fairy Worth himself, which turns out is actually the moon. The next day, they find out the bell was caught in the fallen Jack. So the Sky Shandora as well as Sky People work together to pull up, representing their unity. On the base of the belfry is the poneglyph which Robin deciphers out to the information on the location of the ancient weapon Poseidon. With this, the Shandia find out that they have no need to protect it anymore as they no longer have to fight. To Robin's surprise, however, there is another message on the gold itself from the Goldie Roger. From reading it, she realizes that the Rio poneglyph is on Laugh-Tale. In order to thank the Straw Hats, they offer one of the Biffrey pillars, which Robin accepts. Meanwhile, Usa managed to exchange several rubber bands, claiming that they were the same material that defeated Enel for dials from the Skypiers. Inside the sleeping snake, the rest of the pirates steal several bags full of gold. When Robin appears with all of the people carrying the pillar, the Straw Hat thinks that they are attacking them for stealing the gold, and the pillar is a giant cannon. So they run away. Robin tells the Skypiers that they do not want it and runs after them. The entire crew boards the Going Merry and led by Connors and Popeye, they reach the cloud end where they return to the South Blue. As Gunfall is one again made to the god of Skypiea, the Straw Hats fall into the blue sea, aided by an octopus balloon to slow their descent. They finally reach the ocean and continue their adventures. And that's where we're gonna leave for the episode, guys. If you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe, do the necessary stuff, and if you don't, I can understand. Peace out.